right, we have another game coming up. Before we get to that, if you want free plays from Jim Feist every day right to your cell phone, just go to the front page of jimfeist.com, top right-hand corner, sign up for free. You'll be texting WINNER, W-I-N-N-E-R, to 313131. You get them right to your phone every day for free. And if you want to sign up for Jim's YouTube page, it's called Sports Betting. It's free. You just click on the link right above us. You'll get Jim's daily updates on team previews, free picks, Pro Line, and more, all direct from Las Vegas, and it's free. Okay, our last game on Saturday, another SEC game. You got Mississippi State playing LSU. The big number, too, for a rivalry game here. LSU opened 8, up to 10 now, getting 55% of the early action. You know, this Mississippi State team, second straight road game for them, although it is the SEC opener for both teams. Bulldogs haven't been very good on the road, 5-11 against the spread their last 16 road games. Last year's game, LSU was a 6.5-point favorite, blew out Mississippi State 59-26. A little misleading, though, as it was actually 28-26 in the fourth quarter. This Mississippi State team really loaded on both sides of the ball. 3-0 right now, 8 starters back on offense, 9 on defense. They have had high expectations for this year. They're not letting anybody down, as this offense is terrific. Over 260 yards rushing and passing per game, led by this junior quarterback, Dak Prescott, 8 touchdowns and 2 picks. The only weak spot you can point to, though, is the win over UAB, 47-34. The defense allowed 548 yards, including 435 passing. That will certainly not cut it against a team like LSU. So, Sean, you know, is Mississippi State one of these SEC teams that's almost there but can't never seem to get quite over the hump?
Well, I'm a believer that love is for weekends only, and I don't do a whole lot of it, but I got to admit, I really do like this Mississippi State team, and you're right, they haven't been very good against the number, but this is a different team this year, and they're scoring a lot of points. LSU, a 31-point favorite last week, and they win 31-0 over UL Monroe, so that was basically a push unless you managed to buy or sell a half point either way. But Mississippi State looked very good as a road favorite last week. They covered that number by about 10 or 12 points. They're getting 10 here. And this is going to be my best play on the show. It would be Mississippi State plus 10, and it's a play for me this week. And I think this team actually has a chance to win this game. So I'm going to take the points on this.
Okay, taking a big stand on the dog here. You know, this LSU team also undefeated at 3-0. Their one test, though, was against Wisconsin. Yeah, they won the game 28-24, but boy, were they getting outplayed for most of that game. And there are some concerns, too, as they've got a new quarterback in sophomore Anthony Jennings, 5 touchdowns and 1 pick. And while the backfield is loaded with 3 very talented players, 2 of them are freshmen, and it's a dynamic 1-2 freshman punch with Fournette and Williams. Fournette, one of the top prospects in the country, so there's plenty of talent. But, Jeff, you know, should LSU be this big a chalk with only 3 starters back on defense and a very young quarterback?
Well, it's not surprising because, first of all, they're playing LSU, which is one of the best home field advantages in the country. Plus, Mississippi State has this history. Ever since Dan Mullen's been there, he's been able to beat the easy teams. That when the heart of the SEC schedule kicks in, that's when the trouble starts. And we have the same situation this year. So far, he's played Southern Miss, UAB, South Alabama. Okay, it's a big deal. Now he's got to go to LSU. And once again, we have to see whether this Mississippi State team can win the big games against tough teams in the conference. And they really haven't done it much in the last 6 years or 5 years. Mississippi State's 0-4 against the spread against LSU, 2-6 against the spread the last 8 games at Tiger Stadium. Last year, you said LSU on 59-26. This year, there's no more excuses for Dan Mullen. He's got 16 returning starters. If he doesn't start winning the big games this year, I probably never will. Quarterback Dak Prescott for Miss State, 43-72, 2 interceptions, 9 TDs, 232 yards rushing. But then again, they haven't really played any top competition yet this season. Josh Robinson's averaging 6.3 yards per carry. LSU with wins over Sam Houston State and Louisiana Monroe. They were fortunate to beat Wisconsin in the opener. It was a fake punt that turned the game around. The Tigers running the ball about 75% of the time. They're averaging 4.3 yards per carry. Mississippi State, though, has only allowed about 80 yards on the ground. Plenty of talent, you said, at running back for LSU. Kenny Hilliard, Leonard Fournette, Darrell Williams, Terrence McGee. But sophomore quarterback Anthony Jennings, a work in progress. He's only 27-52, 188 yards per game. I have to go against Sean on this one. I know I hate to do it, but until Miss State proves to me they can be the good team.
You're going to pay. You're going to
I know.
Well, we can cut out the juice right here if you guys like to.
The Mississippi State can beat a good team, and especially at one of the toughest places in the country to play. I'm going to lay the points with LSU this week.
The LSU coach told me, take the points. What am I? That's really it.
Well, that's inside information. I can't argue with that.
Breaking news there.
Well, I guess I'll be the divider here because I'm going to have to back the underdog, Dan Mullen, 31-21 and straight up in SEC play. That's very impressive for any coach, especially one rebuilding a program that doesn't have the powerful history that Mississippi State has. Obviously, they're loaded on offense and experience, which we talked about. They're also on a 6-1 spread run. They're also 4-1 ATS on the road. They're 4-0 ATS when they face the SEC. And this young LSU defense, I certainly have some question marks about, as well as the quarterback. I remember last year's game, 28-26 in the fourth quarter. So I'll back the dog in this one. All right, let's get to our best bets. Sean, you going to still stick with that Bulldog play?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Mississippi State. The line may actually, because of all the stuff that Jeff said, the line may actually sneak up to 10.5 or 11. I find that hard to believe. I think 10 is probably pretty much going to be it. But I'm going to stick with Mississippi State plus 10 and steal a lunch from Jeff Sad Sports.
All right, and Jeff, your best bet is going to be what, that Thursday game?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kansas State for my best bet on the show. And make sure you go to jimfies.com. I got my first conference game of the year going this weekend, $39. Go to jimfies.com and look for LVSS.
All right, and Jeff's on that 86-62 run. Jim Feist on a 4-1 football game of the month run. He's got his NFC South game of the month going Thursday. He hit his the AFC total of the month on Sunday. That was the Seattle-San Diego game over the total. He also has an early release on an inner circle release going Saturday in college football. He's had a terrific run with those. Make sure you check those plays out and more at jimfeist.com. That'll do it for this week. For Jeff and Sean, I'm John Cran in Vegas. We will see you next week with another edition of the college football version of Pro Live.